you the story of this show that's coming up in Cork. And the story involves my great grandmother, Annie Kiely, who was from Kinsale, which is a small fishing town on the southeast of Ireland. And she married late in life. She married a man called Pat Kiely, who was a publican, among other things. He had a few other, like a forge, I think he had a farm. And Pat was, he was older too. He was in his late 50s, I think, when they married. And in fact, he died reasonably young. And she continued on as a publican for the rest of her life. But when she was a young woman, she had a business in Kinsale. She was an entrepreneur, I suppose. She was a dressmaker, and she employed, we think, maybe about 6 girls to work for her in her business in Kinsale, and they would sew during the day by the light of the daylight, and at a certain time in the day it would become, the light would fade and they wouldn't be able to sew anymore by the daylight. But there was a period of time, I don't know, maybe an hour or so, when the oil lamps wouldn't be effective, so they wouldn't really be strong enough to shine and to be able to sew by. And so Annie would take her girls for a turn, and they would rest their eyes and have the chat, and then they would come back and finish the work of the day by the oil lamps, and they would call that time the time between the lights. And I thought it was a lovely story, but the light was the thing that came back to me, because the light is always something that I am drawn to, and it is the reoccurring element in my paintings, particularly in my interior paintings, really going back for years now. And so this show in Cork is all about the light, and the paintings in it, it's a small show, are all affected by the light at the end of the day, or a couple of them by the early morning, the light at the beginning of the day. That kind of dimming of the day, photographers love that time, the magic hour, the golden hour.